Hi, Mr. Wright here, and welcome to this film in which we'll work through Summer 18's Paper 1FR together. So this is ideal if you're preparing for your Foundation Edexcel Maths exam. You can download the paper by clicking the link in the description, and then you can work on the paper and then watch the film, or you can work on the paper as you watch the film and work alongside me. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments. Of course, I'll respond. If you find the film useful, hit like and tell me so in the comments. And if you're preparing for your Edexcel IGCSE Maths, then subscribe to the channel. There's lots more there to help you. Right, let's get on with the maths. Question 1. Right, the table here is giving us information about the weights of 5 different animals. Take a look at it and make sure you understand what the table is showing you. Which animal has the least weight? That is the African buffalo. Write down the value of the 1 in that number. Well, that's 100, isn't it? Now, you can write 100, or you can write 100. Work out the difference between these two. Well, on my calculator, I'm going to do that calculation. 2205 minus 1013 gives me the answer 1192. The weight of a blue whale is 20 times the weight of the giraffe. So how heavy is the giraffe? That's how heavy the giraffe is in kilograms. So the blue whale is going to be 20 times 800. Crikey, that's quite a lot, isn't it? 20 times the weight of a giraffe. 20 times 800. So that's 16,000 kilograms. Work out the weight of the blue whale. I've done that. Oh, give your answer in tons. 1 ton is 1,000 kilograms. So 16,000 kilograms will be 16 tons. And that's question 1 done. Question 2. A field is in the shape of a rectangle. The width is 70 meters, the length is 100. We're going to walk around the edge of the field 3 times, work out the total distance. Well, let's just picture this field. Here it is. It's 70 for a width and 100. So if I walk around it once, I'm going to do 100 plus 70 plus 100 plus 70. So once round will be 100 plus 70 plus 100 plus 70. Okay, 100 plus 70 plus 100 plus 70. That's 340 meters. And I'm walking around it 3 times. 340 times 3, 1,020 meters. That's how far he's going to walk. Question 3 coming up. Here is a rectangle, made from centimeter squares. What fraction of the rectangle is shaded? Well, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 squares altogether, and 4 out of the 15 are shaded. Rectangle B, shade 40% of rectangle B. Well, 40% of how many squares are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 squares. So 40% of 10 squares, that's going to be 4 out of the 10 squares. Question 4 coming up. Ooh, look at this. What have I got here? Let's look at the diagram. I've got this symbol, that line, and that line are parallel. Okay. And I've got an angle X here. Oh, I guess this is going to be a right angle, isn't it? There, I'm guessing that's a right angle. Let's have a look and see what the question asks me to do. On the diagram, mark a right angle with the letter R. So I think I'm going to mark it here. But I could have marked it there as well. There is a quadrilateral in the diagram. Write down the mathematical name of the quadrilateral. Right, where's the four-sided shape? Here it is. It's this shape here, isn't it? That is the quadrilateral in the diagram. And what shape is that? It is a trapezium, because it's got one pair of parallel sides. Now measure the size of the angle marked X. Now I won't be able to show you me doing that with a protractor here, but I make that angle 65. And in the mark scheme, it says that you get your mark as long as you said 63, 64, 65, 66, or 67. Let's move on to question 5. A, B, and C are 3 points marked on a grid. On the grid, draw the line with the equation x equals -3. Right, well, the line x equals -3 crosses the x-axis, that's that one, at 3. Sorry, -3. So this is the line, x equals -3, and it says draw the line, label the line L. There we are, I've labelled it L. M is the midpoint of AB. Find the coordinates of M. Well, here is the line AB. Now, where is the middle of that? It's here, isn't it? So what are the coordinates of that? Well, it's 2.5 along and 3 up. So its coordinates are 2.5 or 2.5, 3. D is a point so that A, B to C to D is a square. Find the coordinates. Well, it's going to be 2 there, 3 there. So I'm thinking it's going to be 2 there, 3 there. That's definitely one way to do it. So I get that point there. Let's just check that that's going to give me a square. And indeed, it does. So that's my point D. And so the coordinates of that are 2, -1. Let's have a look at question 6. Here is a number machine. Let's have a look. You put something in, times it by 4, take away 8, get something out. Work out the output when the input is 18. So it'd be 18 times by 4 and then -8. 18 times 4 equals -8 equals 64. Work out the input when the output is 20. Well, I'm going to have to go backwards, aren't I? So I'm going to do 20 plus 8. That gives me, 20 plus 8. That gives me 28. And then I'm going to divide that by 4, which gives me 7. I could always check that by putting 7 in and checking that I get 20 out. Here is a different number machine. Okay, something goes in, times by 5, add x, something comes out. For this number machine, when the input is 8, so when I do 8 times 5 and then add x, the output is 50. Well, 8 times 5, what are 8 fives? 40, plus something, and I get 50. Well, the something must be 10, mustn't it? Let's have a look at question 7. Here is a list of all the nut trees Katrina counted one day. Complete the frequency table for, Katerina, isn't it? Katerina's list. Right, now when I'm doing this, I always go tick, tally, because then, all being well, I don't make a mistake. Walnut. And you've got to try and not be tempted to deviate from this method, even though it feels a bit slow, because what you want to do is you want to get your marks. Let's just pause a minute. I can see some of them are coming up to 5, aren't they? So I'm going to need to remember. So that's the 5th almond. Well, that's the fifth walnut. Another walnut. Oh, and another walnut. Right, frequency. So how many times do each of these type of tree occur? 4, 7, 5, and 4. Draw a bar chart. Right. So what am I going to need to do here? So I've got 4 different trees. I've got, so 1 to there, 1 to there, 1 to there, 1 to there. That would work okay, wouldn't it? I've got to go up to 7. So shall I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That'll be okay. That's 7. That's 5. That's 3. Okay, so my first one is a cashew. So I'm going to write cashew. And I'm going to go up to 4. Here we go. Next, got walnut. Got to go up to 7. So this bar is going to go up to 7, which is the frequency for walnut. Then I've got almond. How many almonds were there? 5. There we go. And lastly, pistachio. 4 of those. And there is my bar chart. And I'm just trying to think what else I could do. I could label this frequency. And I could label this nut tree, this axis. The type of tree. Okay. If you want to, you can put these labels inside the bars. Okay. And if you want to, it doesn't matter if you have gaps between your bars either. Okay, that's question 7. Okay, question 8 coming up. Right. Simplify y times y times y. Well, that's going to be y cubed, y to the power of 3. Now, 3c times 2d. So I'm going to have the 3 times 2 times c times d. So that's going to be 6cd. Simplify this. Let's have a look. How many k's? 2 k's there. Then another minus 4. And then another plus 3. So if you want to, you could go 2 minus 4 plus 3 on your calculator. The answer is 1. 1k. Now, the best way of saying 1k is to say k. But if you put 1k, then that's okay as well. Number 9. The table shows the temperatures at midnight and at midday at 5 ski resorts. So here's the temperature at midnight. And then here's Chamonix temperature at midnight, and here's Chamonix temperature at midday, for example. Take a moment, make sure you understand what the table's showing you. Which ski resort had the lowest temperature at midnight? So we're interested in the temperatures at midnight, and we want which ski resort had the lowest one. Well, the lowest temperature there is -8, and that was this ski resort. Okay. Next one. Work out the increase in temperature from midnight to midday for Chamonix. Here's Chamonix. Now, at midnight it was -5, and at midday it was 3. So it's gone from -5 up to 3. You've got to work out what that increase is. Well, the increase is 8. Right. You have to read these questions quite carefully, don't you? Jan knows that the temperature falls by 1 degree for every 300-meter increase in height above this place, which I can't pronounce, above here. What was the temperature at midnight at a height 1,800 meters above this unpronounceable place? Well, in this unpronounceable place, the temperature at midnight is -7. And the temperature goes down by 1 degree for every 300-meter increase. So if you have an 1,800-meter increase, then that's going to be a 6 degree. See, 1,800 divided by 300. So it's going to be 6 increases of 300 meters. And for each of those increases, the temperature falls by 1. So it's not going to be -7 anymore, it's going to be 6 degrees lower. So -7 minus 6 is -13. Okay, question 10 coming up. There are 20 counters, let's remember that, in a bag X. 7 are green, 10 are red, the rest are blue. Okay, so let's work out how many are blue, shall we? 10 and 7 is 17, so 3 of them are blue. Ruth takes at random a counter from the bag. The probability it's red. Well, 7 of them are red out of 20. Probability it's blue. 3 of them are blue out of 20. Ruth puts the counter back into the bag. Okay. So let's just have a look. Bag X. That's the one up there, isn't it? Bag X. It's got 7 green, 10 red, 3 blue. Bag Y, okay, only contains green, red, and blue. And here are the counters in bag Y. Let's see. 2 more green than in bag X, so that's going to be 9 green, isn't it? 1 more red than in bag X, that's going to be 11 red. 2 more blue, so that's going to be 5 blue. Adam takes at random a counter from bag Y. Ruth takes at random a counter from bag X. Who has the greatest probability of taking a green counter, Adam or Ruth? So here's Adam taking from bag Y. And what's his probability of being green? 9 out of 25. So this is Adam. 9 out of 25. Now what about Ruth? Ruth is taking from bag X, from this one. So what's Ruth's probability of getting a green? 7 out of 20. Ruth. 7 out of 20. So what we're being asked is which one's bigger? 9 out of 25 or 7 out of 20? Well, I think what I'd do is I'd work them both out as a decimal. So on my calculator, I'm going to go 9 divided by 25 equals. So that one is 0.36. And Ruth, 7 divided by 20 equals, that one is 0.35. So who has the greatest chance of taking a green counter? Adam does. Okay, and that is question 10 done. Right, let's have a look at question 11. A sequence is formed by adding 1 to each square number. Here are the first 5 terms. Let's have a look at each square number. So 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16, 5 times 5 is 25. I see. So we've got each square number and then we've got 1 added to it. Okay. Find the 10th term of the sequence. Well, that's going to be 10 times 10 is 100. Then I'm going to have to add 1 onto that. So that's going to be 101. 1025 is a term of the sequence, so I'm going to have to go backwards. So 1025 would give me 1024, and to find out which one that is, I'm going to do the square root of 1024. That's the 32nd term. Question 12 coming up. Now, look, I've got a straight line there. So I know that all the angles on a straight line add up to 180. And in this case, I've got x, 1, 2, 4, and then another x. So to work out x, I can do 180 minus the 124. And then I'm going to divide what I get, which is 56, and I divide that by 2 to tell me that each of the angles is 28. Number 13. Show that. Right, now that's a subtraction, isn't it? So I'm going to work out what 7/8 minus a sixth is, and hope that it comes to that. So I'm going to turn both of these into the same thing. Now, 8s and 6s. If I go up my 8s, stop at something that 6 goes into, 8, 16, 24, 24. So I'm going to times that one by 3. Use a thinner pen. That one by 3 and that one by 3. So that's going to give me 24 on the bottom. 7 3s are 21 minus. And to turn these sixths into 24, I'm going to times bottom by 4, so top by 4. So that will be 4 over 24. So it's 21 24ths minus 4 24ths, which is 17 24ths. Look at that, just like they said. Okay, number 14. Oh, look, I've got a formula for y here. Y is equal to c minus d times x. Now, work out the value of y. Now look, c is 15, d is 8, x is minus 4. So y is going to be c, which is 15, minus d, minus 8 times x, which is minus 4. So I could just put that straight into my calculator. 15 minus 8 times minus 4 gives me 47. Part B. I got a different one here. This time, t is equal to 4 times p minus q. And I'm told that t is 18. So that's going to be 18 equals 4 times p minus q, p minus 6. So this is going to be an equation. Look, 18 equals 4 p minus 6. So I'm going to write 18 equals, let's multiply out that bracket, 4p minus 24. I'm going to float and ping the minus 24. It's going to be 18 plus 24. So I've got 42 equals 4p. Let's turn that around. 4p equals 42. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4, or escalate down the 4 if you like to float and ping. And I get p equals 10.5. That is question 14 finished. Right, let's look at question 15. There are 440 students at a school. The number of male students is 40 more than the number of female students. Okay, so if I got 440 students, then male, female, so it could be 220 and 220, couldn't it? But then I'd have the same number of male as I do female, but I've got to have 40 more male. So if I make that 230 and this one 210, they still add up to 440. But have I got, I've only got 20 more male than female. So maybe if I knock off another 10, make that 200, and that one would have to be 240. Look at that, that's worked. Now there's 40 difference. So now I know how many male there are and how many female. I know that there are 240 male and 200 female. Right, next, 65% of the male students like art and 85% of the female like art. Work out the total number of students who like art. Okay, so it's going to be 65% of the male, so 65% of 240 plus 85% of the female. So what I put into my calculator then is I'll go 65% is 0.65 of means times, plus 85% is 0.85 of means times. So that's what I'm going to put into my calculator. 0.65 times 240 plus 0.85 times 200 gives me a total of 326 students who like art. Question 16. Here is a hexagon, a six-sided shape. Okay. CD is parallel to AF. So those two lines are parallel. Okay, I see that's both 14 and 14. I've got the height there. Got that 16 and that 20. Okay. Work out the area of the hexagon. Right. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to split it. Because if I split it like this, then I get a rectangle on the bottom. What's that rectangle measure? 20 along by 14, right? So the area of the rectangle is 20 times 14. And what shape have I got on the top here? Let's have a look. I've got a baseline there of 20, right? That's from B to E. And then I go up here to C, along here to D, C, D, down here to E. So what I've got is I've got this shape here. Okay, now what do I know? I know that's 16, 20. Now, do I know the height? All the way from there to there is 24, and all the way from there to there is 14. So the height of that is 10, isn't it? So this is a trapezium. And I know the formula for the area of a trapezium is going to be a half times 16 plus 20 times the height is 10. And that formula is on the formula sheet. So this is going to be the area of the hexagon. The area of that rectangle, 20 times 14, 280, plus a half times, open bracket, 16 plus 20, close bracket, times 10. And that is 180. So 280 plus 180 gives me an answer of 460 square centimetres for the area of the hexagon. Let's have a look at question 17. Aha! Reflect triangle S in the line y equals x. Right, well here's the line y equals x. It goes through all the points where the y coordinate is the same as the x coordinate. So there it is. That's the line y equals x. And I have to reflect triangle S. So this one, count half to the line, half the other side. This one, one diagonal, one diagonal. That's one diagonal, one diagonal. And then this last point, the green one, one diagonal, half a diagonal, half a diagonal, one diagonal. There we go. That is the reflection. And it says label the new triangle R. Now you should really use a ruler, shouldn't you, to join up these points. So that looks a bit better. And this new triangle is called R. Translate S by the vector -4, -6. Well, remember, that's how vectors work. So I'm going to go 4 to the left and 6 down. Translate S. 4 to the left, 6 down. Let's start with this point here. Got to go 4 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this corner is going to end up here. And now I can draw the rest because I've got that right-angled corner. But of course you can move each point one by one if you want to. Label the new triangle T. There we go. That is question 17 done in reflection and translation. Okay. Oh, I haven't quite finished the question yet. Look, here's another one. Describe fully the single transformation that maps P onto Q. Well, it's an enlargement, isn't it? So that's the first thing I must say. I also have to say the scale factor. Well, this has a base of 1, that has a base of 3. So the dimensions have trebled, haven't they? So the enlargement, so the scale factor is 3. Now the last thing I have to find is the centre of enlargement. So if I join up some corresponding points, then I can find the centre of enlargement. So I'm going to join up those 2 points, and I'll join up this point with its corresponding point as well. Oh, that's not working very well. Let me try again. It's going to straighten. There we are. And so it looks to me like the centre enlargement is the origin. So I'm going to write centre of enlargement, you'll have to write it more neatly than me, is the origin 0, 0. Or you could say the origin if you wanted to. Okay, now we're on question 18. The table gives information about the times in hours some students spent doing sport. 1 week. Okay, have a look at the table, make sure you understand. So 40 students spent between 6 and 8 hours doing sport. Okay, calculate the mean time and estimate for the mean time. Give your answer in hours, correct to 1 decimal place. Right, so these 5 students here, how long did they spend doing sport? Well, I hope you remember we take the midpoint. We say that they each spent 1 hour doing sport. So that gives me 5 times 1 is 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the midpoints. There they are. And then we're going to multiply across. We're mid-madding. Find the midpoint, multiply, add, and divide. 1 times 5, 3 times 9 is 27. 5 times 24 is 120. 7 times 40, 280. 9 sevens are 63. So let's add that up and we'll work out then how many hours all the students spent doing sport in total. 495 hours. So to work out an estimate for the mean, we do the total amount of time divided by the number of students. How many students? Well, to do that, you have to add up the frequencies. 5 and 9 is 14, plus 24 is 38, plus 40 is 78, plus 7 is 85. So there are 85 students altogether. So I have to do 495 divided by 85 gives me 5.823 and so on. So to 1 decimal place, each person on average spent 5.8 hours doing sport. And that looks about right, doesn't it? Because people spent between 0 and 10 hours doing sport. So I'm not surprised that the mean time is about in the middle of that. 5.8 seems reasonable to me. Question 19. Anna and Lionel share $675 in that ratio. Well, let's start with that, shall we? So we've got Anna and Lionel. They share in the ratio 4 to 5. Well, that adds up to 9, and they share 675. So 675 divided by 9. Going to multiply everything by 75. So 4 times 75. So Anna gets 300. And Lionel gets 5 times 75. 375. Okay, so now I know how much money they get each. Lionel gives 3/5 of his share to his mother. How much does he give to his mother? 3/5 of means times Lionel's share is 375. So I've got to do 3/5, which I can do on my calculator, times 375. $225. That's what Lionel gives to his mother. Right. Number 20, I'm given a formula for E here. E is n squared plus n plus 5. Work out the value of E when n equals 3. Well, that's going to be 3 squared plus 3 plus 5. I could put that in my calculator. 3 squared plus 3 plus 5 gives me an answer of 17. Okay. Ali thinks the value of E will be a prime number for any number value, whole number value of n. Well, 17 is a prime. Is Ali correct? Well, should we try a few? Let's try n is 1. 1 squared plus 1 plus 5. That would be 7. That's a prime. 2 squared plus 2 plus 5. Put that in my calculator. I get 11. That's a prime. I've already done 3 squared plus 3 plus 5 is 17. That's a prime. Should we try 4? 4 squared plus 4 plus 5. That is 25. Wait a minute, that's not a prime. So I don't think that Ali is correct, because it's not always a prime, is it? So when it says, is Ali correct, you must answer yes or no. So I'm going to answer no. That is number 20 done. Let's have a look at number 21. Now look at this. What can I see here? I can see a triangle. Okay, got that. Oh, it's an isosceles triangle, that. Okay. I've got some parallel lines, so I might be able to do alternate angles or corresponding angles. 180 degrees in a triangle. Also, I can see a straight line here. Look at that. That's going to be 180 degrees there, isn't it? So I've kind of sorted out lots of stuff. Let's read the question. A, B, C, and D, E, F are parallel lines. That's marked on the diagram. BG equals BE. That's marked on the diagram. DEG is 38. That's marked on the diagram. There it is, look. And GEB is 65. That's marked on the diagram there. Find the size of angle ABG. That's my target. Okay. Well, let's just find what we can, shall we? So, this is an isosceles triangle, so that is going to be 65. So now I'm feeling like I can find that red angle. So it's going to be 180 minus 65 minus 65. So that's 50 up there. Okay, what else can I find? Oh, can I find this angle? That's going to be 180 minus 65 minus 38. 180 minus 65 minus 38. So that's 77. Now, just a minute. Look at this. There to there to there. Aren't those alternate angles or Z angles? Isn't that whole angle got to be equal to the 77? In which case, my target angle is going to be 77 minus the 50, 27. And that's my answer for question 21. 22. Here are the first 4 terms of an arithmetic sequence, and I can see it goes up by 4 each time. Find the expression of the nth term. Right, it goes up in 4s. The first term isn't 4, it's 6, so it must be 4n plus 2. Write down an expression in terms of n for the n plus 1th term. Well, if the nth term is 4 times n plus 2, then the nth plus 1th term is 4 times n plus 1 plus 2. Okay, and then you can multiply that out to give me 4n plus 6. 23, standard form. Right, it's going to be 1.39 times 10 to the power of 6. And write this in standard form, it's going to be 5 times 10 to the power of minus 3. Okay, that's number 23 done. 24 coming up. Crikey, what's going on here? Here is an empty pool in the shape of a cuboid. Okay, 3 by 12 by 2.5. So if it's a swimming pool, I'm guessing it's a swimming pool, then it's 2.5 meters deep, isn't it? The width of the pool is 3, the length of the pool is 12, the top of the pool is 2.5 meters above the base of the pool. All that's labeled. Jeb is going to put water in the pool. The level of the surface of the water will be 60 centimeters below the top. So it's only going to come up to here, right? Okay. Where that bit is going to be 60 centimeters. The water flows into the pool at 400 litres per minute. How long will it take to fill the pool? Well, I wonder how much water he's going to need. So he's going to need all that water, right? So it's not going to be 2.5, that one. It's going to be 2.5 meters minus 60 centimeters. So 2.5 minus 0.6. So that's just going to be 1.9. So what volume of water is he going to need? He's going to need 3 times 12 times 1.9. So the volume of water he needs is 68.4 cubic meters of water. Okay. Now, 1 cubic meter is 1,000 litres. So how many litres is he going to need? Well, that times 1,000. So he's going to need 68400 litres. And how long is that going to take to fill up? Well, you know how it's 400 litres flows every minute. So to work out how many minutes it's going to take, I'll do the number of litres I want divided by the number of litres that flow every minute divided by 400. It's going to take 171 minutes. And then it says, give your answer in hours and minutes. So how many hours is that? 171 minutes. It's going to be 2 hours because that's 120 minutes. So 2 hours and another 51 minutes. That is question 24 done. Question 25, simultaneous equations. Now, I always do these the same way. I always get the x is equal and then subtract. So in this case, I'm going to multiply the top equation by 10, so it becomes 30x. And I'm going to multiply the bottom equation by 3, so it too becomes 30x. So my top equation is going to be 30x, 3x times 10, plus 20y equals 15 times 10, 150. And my bottom equation, now I'm multiplying this one by 3, 30x minus 12y equals 6. So now I've got the x's the same. So now I'm going to subtract, and I'm going to write minus, minus, and minus so that I don't mess up my signs. Here I've got 30x minus 30x, so that's sorted. Now, 20y minus 12y. 20y plus 12y, 32y equals 150 minus 6, 144. Let's divide both sides by 32 to find out what y is. 144 divided by 32, so y is 4.5. Now I'm going to copy down the top equation and use that to work out what x is. So I'm copying down 3x plus 2y equals 15. That was the top equation from there. 3x plus 2 times 4.5 equals 15. 3x plus 2 times 4.5 is 9 equals 15. Float and ping that 9. 3x equals 15 minus 9 is 6. Divide by 3, x equals 2. So my answer is that x equals 2 and y equals 4.5. Question 26. Change a speed of 72 kilometers per hour to a speed in meters per second. So I'm starting off with 72 kilometers in an hour. Now I'm going to change it one step at a time. So I'm going to work out how many meters that would be in an hour. And once I've done that, then I'm going to work out how many meters it would be in a minute. And once I've done that, I'm going to work out how many meters it would be in a second. So if it's 72 kilometers an hour, well, 72 kilometers is 72,000 meters. So that's how many meters you go in an hour. Now, if you go 72,000 meters in an hour, I'm going to divide that by 60 to find out how many meters I go in a minute, because there are 60 minutes in an hour, so I'll go a 60th of the distance. And then I'm going to divide by 60 again, and I see that 72 kilometers per hour is the same as going 20 meters every second. Question 27. This is the last question of the paper. A company makes cars. In 2016, the company made 350 cars. Okay, let's just write that down. 2016, the company made 350 cars. Right, in the first 6 months of 2017, the company made 25 25 cars each month. So I wonder how many that is altogether in those 6 months. 25 times 6, so that's 150 cars in the first 6 months. In the last 6 months of 2017, the company made 45 cars each month. 45 times 6, so that's 270. So look at that. Altogether, in 2017, the company made 270 plus 150, 420 cars. So in 2017, 420. I haven't really read the question yet. Let's have a look. Work out the percentage increase in the number of cars that the company made. So that's going to be the increase, which is 70, over the original, times by 100. So 70 divided by 350 equals, times by 100 equals 20% increase. It increased by 20%. The company's income in 2017 was 500,000 more than the company's income in 2016. The company's income in 2017 was 8% more than the company's income in 2016. So that means that 8% must be 500,000, because it was 500,000 more, and you know that that was 80% more. So now you know what 8% is. You can work out 1% by dividing 500,000 by 8. 1% is 62500. So that's 1% of the company's income in 2016. So now you can work out the whole of the company's income in 2016 by multiplying that 1% by 100. And you get 6,250,000. That's my answer for the final question. And that's the end of question 27. Well done for making it through to the end of that paper, and I hope that you found this walkthrough useful. If you did, hit like or leave me a comment telling me so. And if you've got any questions, then leave them in the comments, and of course I'll respond. And if you're preparing for your Edexcel IGCSE Maths, then subscribe to the channel. There's lots more there to help you. Thanks for watching. See you in the next film.